Hello, lovelies, and welcome to Homemade with Faith. Today we're going to be baking an apple tart. First, let's get out our ingredients for the crust. We're going to need sugar, salt, butter, and flour. Add 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of sugar. All the ingredients will be listed down below, so don't worry about writing them down. Whisk that together. Then we're going to cut 1.5 sticks of very cold butter or 12 tablespoons. Make sure that your butter is super cold. I put mine in the freezer for a couple of hours before, just to make sure that my crust turns out really tasty. Now we're going to add the butter to the dry ingredients. Next, we'll take a fork and we're going to smash the butter into the dry ingredients. If you have a food processor, this process would be a lot faster. Unfortunately, I don't. You want to keep smashing the butter into the dry ingredients until it creates a pebbly texture. The reason why you want the butter so cold is so you get that flaky texture of the pie crust. Once you have a pebbly texture, you're going to add 4 tablespoons of ice cold water. This is going to make sure that your butter does not melt. After you add that, you're going to mix it all together. You want it to come together in a dough-like form, but you don't want it to be too wet. Keep adding a tablespoon of ice cold water at a time. Mush the dough with your hand, seeing if it's sticking, and make sure it's not too dry but also not too wet. As you can see with my final texture, it's clumping together but it's not fully congealing. This is the kind of texture that you want for the flaky crust. Then onto a lightly floured surface, you're going to take your dough mixture. It should be slightly crumbly still. I did actually have to add another tablespoon of water because mine was too crumbly. And then you're going to shape it into a ball. Then you're going to knead it and make it into a disc shape. Rolling it out into a small circle, and you're going to place it into the fridge for about 30 minutes while you make your filling and preheat the oven to 400. Next, we're going to core the apples and then we're going to slice them. A little knife hack I was taught when I worked in a kitchen was leave the tip on the cutting board and rock your knife downwards. Your tip should stay on the cutting board. Have 4 cups of apple to a bowl, 1/3 of a cup of sugar, 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter melted, 1/8 teaspoon salt, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Make sure it is the pure kind. Makes all the difference. And 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Oh my goodness, this smells divine. The vanilla and cinnamon, mix it all up. Once your dough has chilled for 30 minutes, you're going to roll it out into a circle. It's okay if the edges are a little bit raggedy, as you see mine are. You're gonna place it on top of a pan the edges can be lifted up onto the sides. We're gonna fold it over pretty soon. Then you're going to make a spiral of apples. I hope this shows you that anyone can bake. Doesn't have to look picture perfect. It's not intimidating or daunting. It's really quite easy, and if you make a mistake, well, that's fine. Then we're going to fold up the edges, making our tart. And then we're going to make an egg wash. All we need is 1 egg. Whisk it. Sprinkle some brown sugar over our apple tart just to give it a little more flavor and sweetness. Then we're going to brush on the egg wash just on the edges of the pastry. This will give it a nice golden color. Bake for 55 to 65 minutes and take it out of the oven. Now our favorite part, trying it. That is absolutely delicious. The crust is flaky. The apples are perfectly cooked. It has such a good balance of sweetness, a little bit of tartness, and the salt comes through as well. I'm gonna eat this for breakfast for the next 2 days. Please don't forget to subscribe and comment. And always remember to sprinkle a little bit of love into everything you bake.